All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome back to the channel, and we are continuing our series. You asked, or you commented, I am going to answer you. And today we have a fun one. This one is from 8lek_R. Damn, I would not want to work with you. LMAO. You seem to have no respect for the opinion of your peers. I would say you're absolutely right. But on set, in real life, when I'm not doing the YouTube personality, I'm actually quite nice. I would say I am quite respectful. I understand that to be a positive influence on set, you have to be constructive and cheerful, and you can do all of those things with an upbeat smile, and you can make the place of work really, really fun to be in. So I would say that's the environment that I try to create in real life. Now, in my head, what I'm actually thinking is if someone around me comes up with an idea, I'm probably not going to follow it, right? Everybody has their own thing and their own responsibilities on set. This is not like some student film where you get 4 of your friends together and you have 16 days to complete it because nobody has a job and there's no money at stake because we're shooting outside and we can just all be hunky-dory and hold hands and talk about rainbows and lollipops. Like, this is a job, right? I want a commercial. I have been hired for one very specific thing, and that is to guide the production to a place that I am happy with image-wise. Because if I am happy with it image-wise, then that means that everyone else is happy with it, because they have elected to choose me as the person who is going to deliver on the taste of the final aesthetic. That's it. That's my job. The gaffer, the grip, they all have their own responsibilities, who they have to answer to, who they are in charge of, the things that they have to look out for. Hopefully, they are not looking out for the same things that I am looking out for, because that would be doubling up. If they had the responsibilities, or if they thought that they could do better, then they should go for that job, the job of guiding the entire project. So everyone should do their own jobs first. Then if you have something on top of that to say it. But there is limited time on set. I don't want to hear every single setup from the second AC or the first AC or the grapher or the electricians. I don't want to hear about better ideas, right? I want them to take those ideas and stuff them in a sack and not talk about them and just do their job. Because what are you doing on set, right? You're compressing all of the information that you have received in pre-production that all of the other people don't have a need for, number one, because there's just too much time and it would require too much energy for those people to then process that information. It's a need to know operation. I am trickling down information as much as possible, and I am compressing it as much as possible. And why am I compressing it? Because I want the maximum efficiency out of every crew member. Right? I want to tell you just what you need to know for us to get to the place that I think is going to be right for the particular project. Right? And my style in doing it is I'm going to be cheerful, and I'm going to be constructive, and I'm going to be super nice and positive, because the alternative is not a good place to be. Now, does that mean that I won't remember if you're dog shit at your job? No, of course I will. But then the blame falls on me for that specific job. Like, number one, why did I hire you? I will not do that again. That's a note to self. But if you're coming up to me and people aren't coming up to you on a shot-by-shot basis going, hey, why don't you add more fill? It's like, no, this is a place of work. Everybody knows they all have their own responsibilities. They all got their own stuff to do that they have to look out for. It's like, I'm very respectful, especially of the people around me whose jobs help me facilitate doing my job. All right, now it's time for a brief word from today's sponsor, and that is, you need great to make good videos. Do you see what I did there? There was no audio there, and that's the sponsor of this video, audio. I know lots about making great images. You know what I don't know lots about? Music. So you know who I rely on? The experts. And who's that? Audio. And guess what? They've gotten even better. Why? Because now you can use their AI, Hans, right? They named it Hans. They didn't name it Bob or Jeff, right? You want Hans, somebody that's living in the future, right? Underground in Tokyo, going into listening parties. That's who you want doing your music. That's who you want finding your sound effects. You don't want Bob doing it, right? Imagine telling all your clients, where do you get all this great music from? Just my man, Hans, right? You wouldn't know him, but he's in the future, right? That's what he's doing. That's where he's living. And you'll probably get more work because of it. Do you want more work or less? If you want more because you pick great music from a huge library of beats, get your boy Hans on the case, right? You don't have to be smart. You can be just like me. You just type in exactly what you want, the kind of vibe, and Hans picks the best track for you. It couldn't be easier. If it was easier, let's see, how would you make it easier? You wouldn't even type it in. Hans would just be able to read your mind. But that's version 2. That's not this version. This version, you actually have to type in what you want. Is it that hard? No. Can I do it? Yes. If I can do it, you can do it. Guess what's better than beautiful moving images that you created? Beautiful moving images with beautiful music to distract everyone from your average images. Yes, that's why audio is sponsoring this video, because they know that for average cinematographers like us, we need every little bit of help that we can get to distract from our mediocre images. So we have great music, sort of mediocre cinematography, you're winning. That's better than no music and bad images, right? That's not a good combo. And if you want to save, check out the link in the description below. Audio is good. You're pretty good. Together, greatness. Well, almost greatness. You see, I forgot to mention that if you use the link below and at checkout, you use the code WanderingDP, you can get your first year for $59. And that's 70% off, which is nice. Okay, back to the video. It's like, that's who I'm going to be most respectful of. I want the gaffer, and I want the grip, and I want the camera department, the first AC, the second AC. I want all those people to be as happy as possible. And with all of the information that they need, I want them to have that as quickly as possible, and all of the resources and everything. Because if they are happy, guess what? I am happy, because the job is going to turn out halfway decent. And that's all I'm looking for all the time. Now, if you have an attitude, I have no problem with confrontation. I have no problem with awkward situations. I think I've talked about it before in the past. I think that's probably one of the greatest skills for cinematographers to have in their back pocket, is being comfortable in incredibly awkward situations. Why? Because 99% of the time, everyone on set, every client, every agent, every director, every producer, everybody on the set, doesn't matter who it is, every crew member, they now, with the powers of modern filmmaking, they can see exactly what you can see, right? There's no more mystery about how the film stock's going to interact and looking through like an SD tap of the film itself. There's none of that anymore. Everybody can see what is essentially the final image. They're going to be judging you on whether or not they like the final image. But the point is, if you do what they like, it's going to turn out dog shit. If you do what you like, at least you're doing what you like, and you will be able to judge, is this actually what I like? Did it actually turn out halfway decent? And if you're objective and you say, ooh, we missed the mark here, and you analyze, well, why did we miss the mark? What decision led to that mark being missed? And if I go and backtrack through all of the decisions, I can see, I should have said to the gaffer, instead of having hard light, I should have said soft light. Instead of being a stop under, it should have been a stop over. Like, there are decisions that you will make that will make your projects bad. You can look back on those if you remember them, and if you write them down, and if you say, these are the decisions that we made, this is the final outcome, this is why I'm not happy with it, you're going to be better off. But I would not, I wouldn't allow, or I wouldn't take on board advice from people outside of the core group of individuals that have creative responsibility for a project, because that's wasting efficiency. Everyone else in the crew is not privy to the information that you are. If they were, it would be way less efficient. The whole model breaks down. So I would say, yes, if you come up to me and tell me an idea on set, like, hey, why don't you try like doing a reverse this way? I'd be like, great, Bob, fantastic. Thank you for that. Did you do what I asked you? Have you already done what I asked you? If you've already done what I asked you, we can have a conversation about anything. You want to talk about dinosaurs and aliens? That's fine. Do what I asked you to do first and then come back to me, right? That's like, okay, I'll happily have a conversation. If you haven't done that, Bob, can you please? Bob, like, what are we doing? And then if Bob doesn't do it, you say, I'm going to do the job. Bob, I'm happy to do the job, but that means next time you're fired. Like, is that weird? It shouldn't be, because you got hired to do a job and now you're not doing it. Your job is not to do the taste. My job is to do the taste. Your job is to execute. If I don't give you the plan, you can complain. If I don't give you enough information, you can complain. You should complain if you are missing any of those resources. It's my job to make sure you're not missing any of those resources. So let's all be happy, right? In real life, I'm happy. I'm happy. I love my job. I love the people that I work with, because I have pruned the list of individuals who are better than me at their jobs. I want everyone around me better than me, because what I'm responsible for is not being the best gaffer or the best grip or knowing the most about those things or knowing the most about the cameras or the settings or the frame rates or whatever it is. Like, none of that matters. All that matters for my job is to curate all of those people's work to, when collectively put together, it is the maximum output that we could have gotten, the maximum juice we could have gotten from the squeeze. So I would say, you probably, if you're good at your job, you probably want to work for me, because I will leave you alone. If you're shitty at your job, you probably don't want to work for me, because I will definitely let you know. Okay, that's going to do it. Many thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.